See, in this class, what we are going to do is we will try to discuss the last topic of ethics syllabus, that is probity in public service or governance. But before I start, let me tell you in my previous classes what we have done. First thing is that I have covered all the topics of UPSC syllabus. I have also covered 2023, 2024, and 2025 exam papers also. I have covered a number of other case studies and other questions also. And all these class videos are available on YouTube channel also, which you are watching. And the notes are available in Telegram channel as well as in WhatsApp groups. So any student who wants to go through those videos may join the YouTube channel and see all the previous class videos. And also for notes, he may join the Telegram and WhatsApp channel so that he can access those notes. Now, today's topic is probity in governance. Now, basically, this is a very broad topic because I mean, probity meaning itself is quite broad. And if we want to know what kind of questions come, so in fact, today in today's class, I'm also going to take a few questions of previous years. But I just want to tell you, direct questions on these topics are usually uh, not asked, but indirectly this topic is covered in case studies and also in other theoretical questions. So this is very, very important topic, very important. So now let us try to understand what is probity in governance. See, probity in governance is a very, as I told, very broad concept. It includes personal integrity. So this is the first thing. But it also includes uprightness, transparency, and accountability in public administration. It's rooted in constitutional morality. So now you understand integrity, uprightness, transparency, accountability, and all this rooted in constitutional morality broadly constitutes probity, which means a very, very big concept as far as governance or public service is concerned. Constitutional morality, as you know, was the term articulated by Ambedkar, and the cases, I mean, Supreme Court cases, because in ethics paper we do quote Supreme Court cases, constitutional provisions, statutory provisions. So Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India 2018, there also this was reaffirmed. Probity ensures that public power is exercised with justice, equity, and responsibility. So you see, this is a very, very broad kind of concepts, and it encompasses almost whole of, I mean, public power, exercise of public power with fairness, with equity, with responsibility, with justice. So all these things are included here. Now, we will try to subdivide all these things and then try to understand in little more detail what probity means and what probity is. But before that, we will try to understand what is the public service or what is the governance, and then how probity is related to that, this and directly related basically. So first, let us try to understand concept of public service. Now, in my notes, in my discussion, what I am going to mention the ethical theories as well as a few examples also, few administrative examples also, which will be quite useful to you while you are uh, uh, preparing for your exam and going for practice tests and other things also. So, I mean, because you have to mention the ethical theories, you have to mention uh, live examples of administration or historical examples. So all these we will be discussing today. So concept of public service. Now, ethical frame is Kantian deontology and Gandhian trusteeship. These two are important ethical theories which directly deal with public service. Public service means ethically discharging one's duties for the benefit of society and not for self. So this is public service. Ethically discharging one's duties for the benefit of society and not for self. It requires selflessness, empathy and responsiveness, and accountability. Now, selflessness itself is a important term. It is mentioned in Nolan principles. Also, it is mentioned in even ARC report also. In this, public welfare is prioritized over private gain, over self gain. So this is very important. And then second is empathy and responsiveness, understanding public grievances and acting with compassion. Then accountability, being answerable to citizens and institutions for one's actions. So this is again very important. So public service is a moral and constitutional obligation under Article 311, which also provides due process safeguard for civil servants, because civil servants cannot be removed without following a due process, cannot be discharged from service without following a due process. Now, example, if you want to quote, or you should know, Lal Bahadur Shastri, our Prime Minister, upheld austerity and dignity during crisis, symbolizing ethical public service. So this is important. Now let us try to understand philosophical basis of governance and probity. What are philosophical basis or ethical basis basically? So ethical frame, virtue ethics, deontology, Kant's deontology, Aristotle's virtue ethics, then Mill and Bentham utilitarianism, and Rawlsian justice. These are the ethical frameworks directly related with probity in governance. Now we'll just try to describe each a little more detail. Aristotle's virtue ethics emphasizes phronesis, that is practical wisdom, developed through ethical experience. A virtuous administrator acts wisely and justly. Then Kant's deontology calls for performing duties based on universal moral laws and not outcomes. Then utilitarianism of Bentham and Mill demands maximizing welfare for the greatest number. Then Rawls' theory of justice urges prioritizing the least advantaged via difference principle. Then Gandhian trusteeship views public servants as custodians of public resources. Then Kautilya's Arthashastra warns against vyasanas, that is vices such as greed and anger, and that destroys ethical leadership. Then Bhagavad Gita's Niskam Karma calls for selfless action, doing one's duty without expecting rewards. So these are important ethical theories related with governance and probity. Now let us see what are various constituents of administration which promote probity basically. Now let us try to understand, or which explain or which describe probity in governance. First is information sharing and transparency. Now ethical frame here is virtue of honesty, sense capability approach, Amar sense capability approach, and the legal provisions which are connected with this are rule of law of evidency and Article 14 of Indian Constitution. Transparency ensures open access to government information, reducing arbitrariness and empowering citizens. Transparency is the disclosure of decision-making, policies, and financial transactions in a manner accessible to public. Now, example, Kiran Bedi, as Tihar Jail IG, introduced proactive RTI disclosures and participatory reforms. Then SC cases, Union of India versus ADR, 2002, upheld public's right to know criminal records of election candidates. And nowadays, for all the candidates or all the even elected MPs, MLAs, etc., the criminal records are publicly displayed, and in their affidavit also, while filing election nomination, they have to file that. So it's a public document basically. Then another important constituent of this transparency and information sharing is RTI, Right to Information Act. So ethical framework here is right-based ethics, accountability theory, Legal anchor is Article 19(1)(a). This is constitutional provision. And RTI Act 2005 gives legal backing to right to know, a democratic entitlement first acknowledged in Raj Narayan versus State of UP in 1975 by Supreme Court. Public authority refers to any institution and I mean, this is an obligation on public authority that they have to disclose the information as and when citizens demand. Who is a public authority? It refers to an institution performing a public function or funded by the government. This is public authority. Each public authority has to designate public information officers. They are tasked with processing and responding the RTI request within 30 days. Now, impact, as you know, CWG scam, others housing scams, these were exposed via RTI filings. Now, next related thing with probity, let us try to understand code of ethics and code of conduct. Because for every public servant, there has to be a code of ethics and code of conduct. Now, ethical framework, deontology, civil republican ethics. Now, code of ethics outlines broad values like honesty, integrity, and fairness. It is aspirational, shaping moral behavior. This is code of ethics. Code of conduct is a set of enforceable rules such as All India Service Conduct Rules or Central Service Conduct Rules are there. Even state services, almost all the states are having state services conduct rules, which prohibits partisanship, bribery, and misuse of office. Nolan's Committee 7 Principles of UK: selflessness, integrity, objectivity, accountability, openness, honesty, and leadership. These are 7 principles, very important. And all these in a way constitute probity. Similarly, second ARC 2007 recommended a National Code of Ethics and Ethics Commission. Now, another important instrument for transparency is citizen charters. Ethical frame, rights-based utilitarianism, best practice, Sevottam framework, DARPG, that is Department of Public Grievances and Reforms, Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances of Government of India. So they have introduced Sevottam framework. A citizen charter is a public declaration outlining service standards, timelines, and grievance redressal mechanisms. And almost all government offices do have this. Sevottam model ensures excellence by aligning delivery with citizen expectations, grievance tracking, and continuous improvement. Now, example will be EPFO and Passport Seva have clear charters with performance metrics. And not only these, even so many other offices, I mean, almost all government offices are mandated to have it. Now, it's a debatable question whether they follow it strictly or not, because there is a penalty provision also. There is a compensation provision also. So, but I mean, definitely with introduction of citizen charters, functioning of various offices has improved a lot. Now, another important point is work culture. Ethical frame, organizational virtue, ethics, servant leadership. Work culture refers to shared beliefs, norms, and attitudes that define the ethical climate of a public institution, of an office, or of a let us say, government institution. Edgar Sechin's theory defines, he's another important thinker, organizational culture as layered artifacts, values, and assumptions. Now, if you see live example, want to see E. Sridharan cultivated punctuality and professional ethics at DMRC, Metro. Douglas McGregor's theory, why encourages a positive work environment where employees are trusted and motivated. So this is management theory of where positive environment is there, employees are trusted and motivated, the functioning will be good, it will be improved. Quality of service delivery. Then another component of the probity ethical framework here is teleological ethics, that is focus on consequences. Assessment tool is OECD's 5E framework. Now, good service is measured by what is a good service, what is a good public service, or what is a good service delivery. It has to be efficient, it has to be effective, it has to be equitable, then economical and ethical. So all these 5 E's should be present in the service. It should be quick and optimal. It should be achieving intended results. It should be fair. It should be minimum cost. There cannot be exorbitant cost for any service. Then it should ensure honesty and transparency. It should be ethical in nature. These 5 E's are very, very important as far as quality of service delivery is concerned. Now, example, if you want to take e-governance portals like Umang and Bhumi project, enhance quality and accessibility. Now, next important thing is utilization of public funds. So again, very, very important, because there should not be any misuse of public funds, because Gandhi's trusteeship principle also says that. So ethical framework here is stewardship ethics, fiscal accountability, legal encourage Article 266, 267 of Constitution of India, CAG under Article 148, because CAG has to do audit of all public funds. Proper use of public money reflects fiscal probity. CAG audit ensures funds are used for intended purposes. Public Accounts Committee, then another important institution, Public Accounts Committee, scrutinizes expenditure reports to enforce parliamentary accountability. Then example, if you see, CAG report on 2G spectrum scam 2010 flagged massive loss due to arbitrary allocation. Similar is coal scam, you will be knowing. That also came out of CAG report. Then what are the challenges of corruption? Because this is again important constituent of probity. Here, ethical framework is failure of virtue ethics, systemic moral collapse, and corruption includes petty, that is everyday bribes, grand, elite policy level manipulation, systemic, that is deep institutionalized unethical practices, and whistleblowers protected under 2014 Act. There is Whistleblower Protection Act, reveal wrongdoings within systems, often at great personal risk. Now, this is again very, very important, because even though there is an act, but hardly in any institution whistleblowers come for disclosure because of great personal risk. Ethical infrastructure includes preventive institutions like Lokpal, CVC, CBI, and legal instruments like Prevention of Corruption Act as amended 2018. Now here, if you take administrative example, you want to take Durga Shakti Nagpal, IAS, upheld ethical courage by tackling illegal sand mining despite political pressure. SC case, Supreme Court case, if you want to see, CBI versus Rajesh Gandhi, held that there is no right to corrupt public service. So, in conclusion, what we can say, probity is the Raj Dharma of public administration. It embodies truth, justice, selfless service. Upholding probity aligns public power with constitutional morality, ensuring not only good governance, but ethical governance. So this is very important, not only good, but ethical governance. Probity is dharma of administration. It holds together the state as truth holds together the cosmos. Inspired by Manusmriti. I mean, this is a statement from Manusmriti. Then another statement from Paul Appleby. When morality sleeps, bureaucracy becomes tyranny. But when probity prevails, governance becomes a covenant of justice. Now, this is very, very important. Paraphrased from Paul Appleby and Thomas Jefferson. Now, this is in brief what we can understand about probity. Now, let us see a few PYQs. Because as I told, very few direct questions are asked on probity, but I think there have been 1 or 2 questions. So because 2024, 2025 papers I have covered. So these questions are from 2023 and 2022. papers. Now, in 2023 exam paper of UPSC, there was question 5th B. This is the question. Probity is essential for an effective system of governance and socio-economic development. Discuss. Now, this needs to be discussed in 150 words with 10 marks. Now, let us see how we can explain this, or try to give an answer, model answer for this. Probity, the unwavering adherence to moral integrity in public life, is indispensable for effective governance and socio-economic development. Now, this is direct attacking the question, not talking introduction or detailed introduction is not required here in 150 words. In governance, probity ensures decisions are transparent, impartial, and accountable. It enhances institutional trust, curbs corruption, and reinforces constitutional values. As Paul Appleby noted, ethics is central to administrative legitimacy in a democracy. So he is a very, very important thinker as far as ethical administration is concerned. Economically, probity promotes fiscal responsibility. So you see, there are in question, if you see, probity is essential for effective system of governance and socio-economic development. So there are two parts basically. So both, I mean, you have to understand the directive of the question. So on the one hand, you have to explain effective system of governance, and on the other hand, you have to also explain socio-economic development. So accordingly, these paragraphs are divided. So now this is governance thing, and now we are coming to socio-economic development. So economically, probity promotes fiscal responsibility, improves public service delivery, and encourages investment. Incentives like DBT, direct benefit transfer, and government e-marketplace, that is GEM, exemplify procedural probity. Legal frameworks such as RTI Act, CVC, and Lokpal institutionalizes ethical oversight. Indian traditions echo this need. Kautilya in the Arthashastra warned that, so another Indian thinker we are taking, and here we have given some examples also, you see, live examples. So unless you include live examples of administration, the question's answer will not be complete. So here we have done that. Indian tradition echoes the need. Kautilya and Arthashastra warned that unchecked officials siphon off public wealth like fish drinking water unnoticed. Gandhi stressed that means must be as pure as end. So this is again another Indian thinker we have quoted. Yet laws alone are not enough. Probity must be internalized through ethical leadership, training. So these are the important instruments, and a value-driven administrative culture. Thus, probity is not optional. It is ethical bedrock of good governance. So this completes 150-word answer for 2023 question. Now in 2022, a very short question actually was asked. Write a short note on probity. Actually, 30 words only it has been asked. Actually, in this question, there were 5 short notes, 30 words each. One part was probity in public life. Now, you see, in 30 words, very, very simple. I mean, 3 lines you have to write, basically. And so directly you have to tell what probity means, or probity in public life means, not probity in public life means. Now, let us try to understand how we can write that. Because 30 words only you have to write. Probity in public life, championed by Kautilya, Mahatma Gandhi, and Nolan Committee. So even in 30 words also, these we have been able to mention, which upgrades the answer. Denotes uncompromising integrity, transparency, and accountability. As envisaged by second ARC, uphold ethical governance and democratic legitimacy. So here you see a number of references and thinkers have been mentioned, and the probity in the public life has been explained. That is uncompromising integrity, transparency, and accountability, which upholds ethical governance and democratic legitimacy. Now, as I told, very few questions are asked. So these were 2 small questions which were asked as far as probity is concerned directly. But still, I want to say this is very, very important topic as far as case studies are concerned, or even theoretical questions are concerned, because indirectly you have to mention that. Because you have to mention as examples, you have to mention as its components, transparency is required, accountability, then checking corruption. So all these things will be included in probity. So This completes the probity today's topic. So thank you for watching this video, and we'll meet again in next class. Thank you.